Why some Chinese dissidents love QAnon. Is this Epoch Times? Probably. Let's take a look.
This is the Republican Party that will fight for the American worker. This is the Republican Party that's not just gonna roll over and die because the Democrats would like you to.
Dude, you are just so fucking whack. You are such a goofy motherfucker. If you go to an event and Donald Trump Jr. speaking there and you're like, this is great, brother. I love this. This is entertainment for me and the family. It's like, you suck. I don't know how else to describe the situation. Like, you are just so incredibly whack, bro. This chinless motherfucker's out here talking and you're like, this is great. I need to listen to this. His dad doesn't even like him, bro. His dad doesn't like him.
Just hours before rioters would storm the US Capitol, we were at the rally following a group of protesters who didn't make headlines. Chinese dissidents who fled the Communist Party's repression. They've aligned themselves with America's right wing, where Trump is often seen as the only person willing to stand up to China's aggression.
Oh, it is. This is definitely... Okay, let's see if this is State Department propaganda from Vice. Will they mention this is like Epoch Times related, or will they not? Will they say this is Falun Gong, or will they not say it's Falun Gong? Let's take a look.
Biden represents corruption working with the root of evil, CCP.
How long, can I ask, have you been in the US for?
I have been here ever since 1989, Tiananmen Massacre.
So you were there at the Tiananmen Square protest?
Yes, I was in Tiananmen Square. I shouted.
I missed the Epoch Times. What the connection? Epoch Times is owned by the Falun Gong cult, which is like a psychotic, holistic, far-right, however, anti-Chinese Communist Party cult that the State Department relies on. Epoch Times is one of their publications. They are also straight up an advocate for all of the white supremacist movements around the world. But because they are anti-Chinese government, the State Department's like, y'all are good. Fuck it, dude. Go ahead. Educate our boomers with your psychotic anti-vaxxer nonsense and white supremacist agitprop.
Down with the Communist Party of China. Today, we shout together, down with the CCP! Down with the CCP! Down with the CCP!
Jane was there with Wang Jing, an asylum seeker who had only just arrived in the US a few days before. In China, Wang Jing was a dedicated journalist who covered labor rights and police brutality.
Oh, Shan Yun is the Shan Yun dance troupe is another. I think they're a fucking Falun Gong too, if I'm not mistaken.
The first thing she wanted to do in the land of the free was get to this rally.
因为你才搬到美国几天，已经参加这么大的集会，
就是看了这么多人，然后我就有一种就是眼就要流泪的感觉，就是眼泪就在眼眶里，那种感觉非常的感动，也非常的激动。因为我在中国的时候，我就想见到川普总统，然后我想亲他一下，还拥抱他，亲他一下。
There are legitimate reasons to be angry against the CCP, but not from the right fascist side. I mean, yeah, these dudes are, bro, they're literally anti-race mixing, okay? Like, they're fucking bananas. I mean, I don't know if these are Falun Gong, okay? But if they're fucking pro-QAnon, then yes, they are probably Falun Gong. And also, so is Epoch Times. Like, that's just how it is.
Victory stolen by emboldened radical left Democrats, which is what they're doing, and stolen by the fake news media. That's what they've done and what they're doing.
They're the Epoch Times. Good one, dude. 21-month subscriber. This is precise. Like, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. And I'm not going to unban this person. And I will start banning every single person that says you need to unban them. No, dude. Come on. Come on. Come on. This is serious time. We're not fucking memeing. We're not watching MasterChef. You're being really fucking annoying. Like, that guy's perma, 21 month subscriber, and any other person that fucking wants to defend them, I will permanently ban you as well. Don't do that. Don't do that ever again. Come on. We're doing news coverage right now. Chill the fuck out.
现在都是假新闻。
Well, you take this shit way too personally. Grow the fuck up, man. Lamau.
Thanks for
How about you? You take it way too personally when you get fucking banned. You make it seem like it's a, I'm setting a boundary. Okay? If you have a problem with that, you can get fucked too.
川普讲的都是大实话。
对，是，就是说，原来咱们在中国体会到的一些东西都是，就是共匪，当面背后就是胡说八道。
在中国搞的那一套，
整个搬到
美国人
美国来了
正在经受，正在感受的。
对，这就
Americans are experiencing what we experienced before. It's like, I mean, you're a Trump supporter. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, are you stating that, like, I don't know, Joe Biden is like similar to Mao or something? Like, what the fuck is this this take? Like, that Donald Trump is the great liberator because the Democrats are very similar to Mao? Thank you, Cash App, for the 69 gifted subs. Holy shit, dude. Look at that.
Wang Jing's fervent support for Trump illustrates a growing paradox. People who fought for freedom and democracy in China are, in America, getting behind movements that would seem to...
Oh my God, they literally are saying Joe Biden is like Mao. Okay, dude. Okay, dude. I mean, holy fuck, bro. Holy freaking... I don't even... okay. Okay. Yeah. Lots of sensible takes here, I think. I was just kidding. I was like, there's no fucking shot that they believe such a psychotic thing. And it's like, no, they do. They do.
to undermine those same ideas. Chinese dissidents do have good reason to question the
Fight for the USA, return to God.
official narrative. In China, the state controls all information. So when they get to the US, that distrust of mainstream
Yup, there it is. There it is, NTD News. It's another one of those.
media can mean turning to anti-CCP Chinese language news.
Yup, Epoch Times, the web of lies spun around the CCP virus.
But these outlets not only denounce the Chinese government, they also promote the kind of misinformation associated with the far right. Chinese Americans are one of the nation's fastest growing voter blocs, and more of them are shifting right, with Republican voters gaining traction even in liberal strongholds.
It's pretty funny because Republicans are like, ew, Chinese people, gross. But then also at the same time, they're like, but it's an important voting bloc that is like becoming more radicalized towards the right. But also, ew, gross. Like, you know what I mean? It's like the most important part of Republican strategy is to fearmonger against, you know, people who are not white. Like, people who are not white are coming to your neighborhoods. You're not going to have that you're not going to have that barbecue hamburger place anymore. You're going to have some Chinese restaurant in your neighborhood. You want that? You want that? And it's like, you know, I mean, first of all, that's dope. Chinese food is great. But like, that is like a big part of the resentment, the racial resentment that keeps Republicans going to the polls and voting for the other Republicans. So, you know, how are you going to match that? How are you going to simultaneously be like, that's right, we love them. We love them Chinese folk.
Wang Jing is now living in Seattle, waiting on her asylum claims. Her skepticism towards the mainstream media and her distrust of Biden, who she sees as a puppet of the CCP, have only grown since she got here.
我来了之后，基本上就是吃方便面，所以现在一看到方便面就想起，在看守所就是想方便面都是好东西，都想够呛。
In China, Wang spent nearly 5 years in prison for her work as a reporter. That experience turned her against the Chinese authorities. What do you see for your own future in America?
我想就是让越来越多的美国人民能够觉醒，能够意识到。
Bro, how the fuck do you report against the Chinese government, go to jail, and then you're like, now I love Donald Trump, who wants to kill reporters? Like, yeah, I love it when Donald Trump is like, why don't we just murder the press? And everyone's like, yeah, you're right. And you're just like, this is actually so much better. Like, how does that happen? Like, I don't understand what works. I mean, I guess like prison fucked her up, you know?
Hassle.
I suspect.
到中共现在对美国的渗透已经非常严重了，因为中共的那些手段都用在了美国身上了。现在
And then, out of nowhere, arose the enigma of Q.
When she came across a subtitled video about QAnon on social media, the idea of a vast conspiracy made sense.
然后我看了这个纪录片，我也非常。
Okay, now I want to know what kind of journalism she did, bro. I mean, obviously, no one should go to fucking jail for like
Hassle.
doing bad journalism or whatever, but like, if that was a quick leap for you to go from like, I was doing journalism and then, you know, now I believe in QAnon. I don't know what happened.
Hassle.
You know what I mean? Okay, you know, some journalists in jail, that'd be kind of funny. Like, you know, people that fancy themselves to be journalists, like if they went to jail for a little bit as a treat for me, that'd be kind of funny. Anyway, let's keep going.
非常的感动，而且就是 Q 里面他也提到了，是不就是那个政府腐败的，就是包括他们有那个恋童癖呀。 这个我是相信的，确实是有，我确实相信有华盛顿沼泽的存在。
Wait, Wang was arrested in 2014 when she was reporting on a protest for the now defunct news outlet 64 Tianwang. In 2016, she was sentenced to 4 years and 10 months in prison for picking quarrels and provoking trouble in her writing on human rights, as CPJ documented at the time. Wang was arrested from Jilin Women's Prison in Jilin was released from Jilin Women's Province in 2019 after serving a full sentence. Her world turned upside down after losing direct contact with her family for nearly 5 years. She said her husband was unwilling to reunite and her daughter barely acknowledged her. Damn. Negative social score, Andy. Yeah, that's what happens when your social score is like, you know, beneath the ground floor. The two live in Japan. CPJ called a number for Wang's husband and someone picked up the phone but did not respond to questions, thinking she could be rearrested. That was nearly impossible to see her daughter again. She aims to revive 64 Tianwang, a human rights news website founded by publisher Huang Qi, who has been in prison since 2016. According to CPJ's review of the site, they have not produced new materials since 2017. In a telephone interview, Wang told CPJ in unsparing and graphic detail about the mistreatment she experienced. So what happened? How did she begin reporting? She's a victim of Chinese divorce court. The divorce court comes for all, okay? A lot of you don't realize that, like, you know, divorce court is not many people think divorce court is not universal, okay? It actually is. Also, I don't know if I should click on this website. I feel like this website is going to have some fucking crazy shit. Okay, Google Translate from Chinese simplified to English.
13 months WTF.
Sometimes these international websites just like straight post like dead babies and shit. Bro, you should go to jail for this website. There. I don't need to see any more, okay? You put out a website like this, jail, okay? None of this looks... I'm kidding. Don't get mad at me. What is happening here, dude?
Love the stream's divorce court counsel.
Is an ADA violation waiting to happen? Okay, lawyer Siu Mu King, tough guy Huang Qi's case report. Tianwang founder was raided by the police. Today's focus: citizen power statement on the disappearance of Huang Qi. Over 90% of China's violent interception cases. Destroy evidence that captures what? New York Times, Huang Qi. Beijing police resist violently receiving 200 petitioners. Prison inmate. 3 telecom scams victims rush to hospital. What is a Skynet review? Why does this website have an English tab? It's like if they're reporting on like atrocities in China to other Chinese people, like why the fuck do they have an English tab? Like who are they? Who's that's not the target market. Founder of 64. Huang Qi was a Chinese webmaster and human rights activist. He's a co-founder of the Tianwang Center for Missing Persons. Initially, the mission was to help counter human trafficking that had become a swelling problem in the late 1990s, but later it was expanded to include campaign against human rights abuse. Originally released news about the people who had disappeared in PRC. Huang was imprisoned by the government and again arrested for illegal possession of state secrets after he helped the victims of the Sichuan earthquake. Bro, Qi is pronounced Chi. You're welcome. Huang and his wife set up the website to track cases of human trafficking, imprisonment, day before the 11th anniversary of the Tiananmen Square protests. He was jailed in July 2000 at the detention center. Former cellmate said he was beaten regularly and denied medicine. What happened? He assisted in relief work and also responded to some parents' requests for assistance in the we don't correct Hasan's Mandarin in here.
Lit.
Don't forget the reactionaries have weaponized the model minority myth against Chinese, a myth of Chinese Asians against other races for decades. It doesn't matter. You're missing like the 50 mentions of Falun Gong. Where? Oh, he told Radio Free Asia. Okay. That makes sense. He was subsequently described as a political prisoner. Amnesty International described him as a victim of vague state secret laws. Huang was sentenced to 12 years in prison. I mean, that shit is wild. Like, state secret stuff, like, it's bullshit. Okay? It is bullshit. Like, let's be real. Okay? It's bullshit. The way that China deals with dissidents and propagandists is the way that, like, many of you wished the American government would deal with, like, QAnon Andes. But when they do it in China, you're like, oh, that's actually unacceptable. Because it is. Like, I know we get very mad and at times advocate to, like, you know, jail fucking QAnon people and shit like that. But that's how they do it. That's just, they actually do that. They're like, oh, yeah, you're going to fucking, you know, you're going to do this? Okay, well, guess what? You're going to jail for 12 years and now your family can't see you. And that's fucked up. But just to frame it in a way that you can understand it, like, it's as though if the American government, like, actually jailed most of these motherfuckers here, and especially, like, people who write these sorts of blogs in America.
What happened at DC, I mean...
And by the way, America does do this already. They do this to Julian Assange. They did this to Chelsea Manning, friend of the show. They do this to... obviously Snowden. Like, there are people that the American government does this to. It's just the bar for who gets this kind of treatment in China is much lower and adjusted to what, like, most of you would literally want to bring about on all of your ideological foes. And it is totally illegal as well, technically, even though it's a gross violation of the First Amendment, freedom of press liberties afforded to every citizen.
A lot of people saw it as an assault on democracy.
我认为这个纯粹是黑白颠倒的说法。我来
People leaking secrets versus regular journalists, insane take. Those guys are fucking journalists too. What the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean people leaking secrets? Like, I'm already saying that that's wrong, and I don't think that that is acceptable, but it's not enough. Imagine thinking the U.S. does this in the capacity that China does. No, I didn't say that. I actually said that the United States does this, but in China, the barrier for what constitutes for fucking a punishable offense is much, much lower and completely unacceptable. It's an insane take if you come into this chat as a 14-month subscriber and regularly just refuse to listen to what the words that are coming out of my mouth. You are trying not to listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth and instead getting upset at what you fantasize I have said. For people like that, I sometimes wonder, why do you even listen? Like, why are you here? Are you here because, is this fun for you? You can fantasize about what I said without watching. You know what I mean?
到了，就通过就是1月6日那个国会发生的那件事情，我感觉这就是在中共的在耍阴谋手段。他这个中共最喜欢的就是搅和洪水、搅浑水，然后嫁祸于善良的民众，这是他。
Wang Jing's fears do have elements of truth. The CCP has been known to infiltrate the US government and academic institutions. That's what makes these ideas so dangerous, especially for people like Wang Jing.
What? Wait, did she say she believes that, or did she say that the CCP infiltrates American government institutions? Did Vice just say that? Am I fucking losing my mind?
The CCP has been... Wang Jing's fears do have elements of truth. The CCP has been known to infiltrate the US government and academic institutions.
What? Call what Assange and Manning did accurately. They leaked U.S. war crimes. Thanks, Johnny, dialectically. This is a matter that I haven't discussed in perpetuity numerous times. So thank you for, clearing that up. Yes, obviously. Did they do that? I mean, that one Chinese spy that Senator was implicated or slept with would suggest that it does happen. I mean, that's like routine espionage, and we do it as well. Everybody does it. This suggests something broader than that, where like the Chinese government has like infiltrated American institutions from within. That's a little bit more aggressive than like, yeah, they fucking honeypot Eric Swalwell. You know what I mean?
That's what makes these ideas so dangerous, especially for people like Wang Jing. When you've lived through conspiracy, it may make it easier to believe new ones.
Some people watching this might, see your fears about fraud in the election or about, the Chinese Communist Party's infiltration in the US and beyond as paranoia and fear coming from your experience of dealing with the Chinese Communist Party.
Oh, yeah, this happened.
我觉得就是这些人是因为他们没有。
This is what I was talking about already. Yeah, this is the honeypot. Russia does this as well. What was it? Maria Butina, famously, was even more successful than this lady. Yeah. Are we really acting like China is a gold star country or something? Cool. There is no gold star country, and China is no different. Yeah, bust down Maria Butina. There's not a single country on this planet that doesn't do this, as one chatter also correctly pointed out. Even Israel does this. And they're our fucking allies. Okay? So, like, this is just a thing that every country does. A male honeypot is also called a honeypot, I think, but I'm not sure. A honey dick. I'm kidding. That's actually, I think it is literally still honeypot. Okay.
Hi chat smile, hi Hasan smile.
经历
Hope
没有
everyone is
经历
doing
你就
well
没有
smile.
感触，而就是除非就像我们在中国也一样，就是好多人没有遭过中共迫害的人，他们还就是说被这个中共的这个喉舌媒体，然后就相信喉舌媒体。在中国也一样，有些人可能在有些人没有被中共迫害的人的眼里，我们说的话，他看见我们这么说，听见我们这么说，他都说我们是精神病都有可能。
Yeah, I wonder why they think, you know, I wonder why they think the QAnon woman who is a Trump supporter is crazy. That's strange. How the fuck did Vice literally talk to a QAnon supporting Falun Gong Andy and like they made it seem like she had some reasonable fucking takes? Dude, there is no better example that like American foreign policy and State Department propaganda is so fucking universal and so bipartisan and so heavily slanted to the right that like even libtard ass Vice will just sit there and be like, well, these guys believe in QAnon, but also they're kind of fucking right. You know what I mean? It's like they believe in QAnon because of all the right things that they're saying. Like, how did this happen? Didn't you guys do like 700 different fucking videos on like how devastating and deadly this QAnon conspiracy is?
当我也经历了这些之后，我就完全的感同身受。我想他们也就会越来越多的人就相信我说。
And for the record, like, yes, in the United States of America, you have more free speech freedoms. This is true. I say this all the time, especially in comparison to a country like Turkey or in comparison to a country like China. That also does not change the reality that we have the most jailed population, dog. We have the highest percentage of prisoners per capita on the planet. So, like, not exactly a very free country. I'm just going to say, going to put that out there, okay? So, yeah, like, you know, we still jailed political dissidents, but ultimately we just don't give a shit about whistleblowers in general. If someone is whistleblowing, they get no leeway in our completely controlled neoliberal media for the most part, unless they consider that whistleblower to be doing the whistleblowing on another, I don't know, like another political party. But if it goes against the hegemonic mainstream narrative, then you are actually a threat and you will go to jail. But if it's like, oh man, I'm a whistleblower and like Trump is bad, then they're like, oh, look at this whistleblower. He's great.
说的话了，是一样的。
Anyway,